Hello, FlimsyLunchTray here with a player review for you today. So excited to share this with you. I've not actually watched it yet, as this is live commentary and you'll get my live reaction. But what I saw from the post-battle results of Out sent me of one of his clanmates doing really well here. And so he told me how I can say his name. He says I can just call him Big G or Biggie, and I'm gonna go with Big G. Big G here in the Tier 9 European Destroyer Jäger. Now I probably also have to wrap myself out here because I had an immensely difficult time trying to get this replay file to open up, and it had to do with the fact that I uninstalled Warships and then I reinstalled it to move it off my C disk drive to D disk drive. I know some of you said I could have just moved it from my C disk drive to my D disk drive without uninstalling and reinstalling, but I did that with another game and I messed up some things, so I wasn't going to take that chance, and I had plenty of time. But then I couldn't figure out how to open the WoW's replay, so I was having to use all these different applications, including now my World of Warships replay files look like Windows Media File icons, because I tried to open it with Windows Media File. Oh gosh, so yep, pull the flimsy, it's a thing. So, with that being said, Big G here in the Jäger. So this is a destroyer. I do not own it. You could have gotten it through an event and then used in-game resources to purchase the remaining, I think it was Austro-Hungarian tokens to pick up. I didn't bother with it, but this destroyer looks pretty fun. As you see, there are not 3, not 6, not 9, but 12 torpedoes in the water, as this gets a 3x4 rack, 4x3. I'm thinking I'm supposed to say 4x3 rack. So let's talk a little bit about the destroyer, and then I'm basically just going to be reacting to his playing here. So this destroyer is rather interesting because it pretty much looks just like a tier 2 destroyer, but it's at tier 9, which is rather interesting. Oh, is he going to catch that destroyer? Ooh. That was some good torpedoes, and I'm maybe purposely used RPF. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if what Big G has to say about that. But that's pretty funny. So yes, it took 3 torpedoes to kill that destroyer because they do not hit hard. They're pretty weak. So let's see. I kind of look here. Come on. No. 7,533 maximum damage, but that doesn't take into account things like torpedo belt protection, all that type of stuff. But you can see right now he's at 64.5 second reload, because I'm assuming he has adrenaline rush. I think otherwise it's 65 seconds, and it's 12 kilometers. But these torpedoes he has built out to go 90 knots. I think stock, it looks like 86 knots. So let me read the history of this, if I'm able to, unless he also kills that destroyer.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
That's amazing. I didn't know that was going to happen, just to be clarified, but that's hysterical. So he's got 8 torpedoes, first blood, and 2 dev strikes already. This is pretty good. Okay, Big G, let me just give the WoW's wiki information about the ship before you do any more devastating strikes. Can we do that? Okay. In 1917, Austria-Hungary began working on a project to build a destroyer leader. A total of 8 leaders and 12 destroyers, that's weird, were planned for construction. Draft designs were submitted by Bohm and Voss and Gans Danubius. The Austro-Hungarian Marine Technology Committee developed several projects. One of them, presented in 1917, provided for the construction of a 2,000-ton torpedo boat, which was to be equipped with 6-inch main battery guns. However, with the end of World War I and the collapse of the Austro-Hungary, the destroyers were never built. And so this Jäger was first released for sale starting on the 7th of July this year. And I have a feeling that bad things are going to be happening to this hybrid battleship if he keeps sailing forward. So let's watch with anticipation. And he's really stacking these torpedoes quite nicely and kind of overlapping them over each other, so definitely hats off for your torpedo placement. Wave goodbye, kids. See, now this is the thing. So now he's up to 14 torpedoes, but it's that torpedo belt protection taking into account here. So even though he landed 8 of 12, you can see it wasn't enough to actually finish off the battleship. So basically, very effective if you land multiple on destroyers, but it takes a lot of torpedoes to land to be super effective on a battleship. So now, I can't actually see the ship names. I'm supposed to, I think there's an icon I'm supposed to hit, but I don't actually know what that is. So it's one of the American hybrid battleships. I can't tell which one. We'll find out when he kills them here, I'm guessing. But yeah, so you get 3 main battery guns on this ship. They're 150 millimeters. So this is not a gun boat by any means. It is a torpedo boat. As let's see, it was Kearsarge. Okay, I don't know if it was Kearsarge or maybe it was something like the Delaware. So he's up to 21 torpedo hits already. So basically, he's just owning this flank. And taking out both enemy destroyers and the enemy Kearsarge. So now he's going after a cruiser who's blind firing in his rough location and flipping up Delta Cap. So yeah, so these 350 millimeter guns. And what is the reload time on these bad boys? So it's not quick. Yeah, so we see 4.5 seconds. 11% chance of causing fire and 9.5 kilometer range. So this ship very much embodies being a torpedo destroyer. As you can see, it's got 5.4 kilometers here at tier 9, which makes you among the most stealthiest destroyers at tier 9. I think, what is Yugamo 5.4? 5.5? Is it 5.6? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the most stealthiest tier 9 destroyers currently in World Warships. So it's really, really good. So he's been utilizing that well thus far. I mean, you had that one radar destroyer who briefly spotted him before killing. But he's taking his time, so he's flipped the Delta Cap. It's really good to see that here. So it looks like this cruiser is kind of just slowly falling back from the flank, and now he's going to use his engine boost. And I'm assuming he's probably going to sail out to B at this point, because if he wants to get his if Big G wants to get his torpedoes off, he's going to be reversing here for a while. Looks like he's going to dump them all behind the island. Maybe he ends up stopping again here before he reaches the island. But if I was the cruiser without much health, I'd want to get past the island, but we'll see what the cruiser decides. Is maybe dumping the torps on the left side would have been better, but we'll see what happens here. So, looking at the commander here, so we can see a few things. He's got Brisk, which honestly is probably really good to have since your concealment is really excellent here on the Jäger. So if he sails in a straight line, I'll be interested to see actually how fast he can go. Is it just an 8% speed boost? Yeah, just 8%. See, 38 knots. Well, I'm guessing you can hit 40 knots. It looks like standard speed is 37 knots from what I'm seeing in the WoW's wiki. So it looks like he would be able to get over 40. But it does get caught out with the radar here, which I'm assuming is from the cruiser here. If he zooms back in, it almost looks like maybe it's... No, I don't know what that is. Not sure what cruiser he's fighting. There's a button you're supposed to be able to hit since they changed some things with the WoW's replays. That allows you to see what ships, but I'm afraid I'll just end up stopping the game from progressing if I do such a thing. The other notable thing which you're seeing at work here now is the fact that you have a repair party here on the Jäger, which is going to allow him to heal back the damage that he's currently taking here. And it almost seems like that's a radar cruiser with the amount of the length of that radar. Maybe it's Nevsky, something like that. We'll find out. But you have the repair party, and you don't boast a large health pool as a tier 9 destroyer, only 15,900, and I'm assuming that he's taken survivability expert, although I don't know that for certain unless it tells me here. It says it starts with 15,900 hit points, so maybe he hasn't taken the survivability expert. Maybe he's gone for more of just a pure torpedo build. Yeah, so that's interesting. So, beyond that, you don't really have much going besides in terms of consumables, the engine boost and your repair party. But probably not as necessary per se in running survivability expert if you have these heals, if he's gone for the full torpedo build, because you can see he's got the other thing is he's got radiolocation, which I was trying to say a little bit ago. So That's going to really help out and give him information of when there are other destroyers pushing in on him, and give a general idea of what destroyers are pushing in. And these torpedoes, were they 12 kilometers, right? Yeah, 12 kilometers long. So it looks like he's going to get some torps on this battleship here, as the team loses. The CV takes out the Schultz and the Salmon on Big G's team here. So he gets 2 torpedoes, a flood, and the battleship's probably going to DCP. But he secured the cap. So 1 solo cap, 1 assisted cap. And now he's kind of got the issue where the enemy ships are leaving his torpedo range. So essentially he's going to have to reposition himself and getting closer to the enemy team here. Other thing, as we see some more death in the battle here, is that the AA defense is really poor to the extent of not really existing here on the Jäger. So don't expect you to be able to prevent even a tier 8, let alone a tier 6 carrier harassing you. Not that you should see a tier 6 carrier. But you're going to be raffle stomped if a carrier decides to focus you, and you just have to try to utilize your engine boost and maneuverability to avoid being detected or focused by an enemy aircraft carrier. So these are things that I'm just basing off what I know of the ship, what I've seen of the ship, in addition to seeing how Big G here is playing the ship, which he's doing a really good job. He's securing caps. He moved up, he provided spotting, he's eliminated both enemy destroyers, took out the enemy battleship that knocks it on the island with such a quick reload time. What is he, roughly a minute now? Yes, minute 8 seconds, or minute 0.8 seconds. Secured 2 caps, is moving up along, continue causing spotting, and now actually you see him for the first time that I've caught him opening up his guns here with how low the enemy cruiser is. So he feels very confident after that salvo to just go ahead and go dark again. So great for him. And one of the benefits here too is his gun range. So his gun range is only 9.5 kilometers, so there's no need to building to gun range, even though it's pretty poor for tier 9, because again, this isn't a gunboat, it's a radar or torpedo destroyer. And I was about to say radar destroyer because he just got radared. So let's see, that looks like a German battleship perhaps. This looks like some lagging here. I can't tell. Probably should just pause when he zoomed in. So it's either, it looks German. So I wonder if he's got a radar battleship up ahead on the 4-5 line. So he's doing what he needs to do next. He's continuing to provide that spotting right, and then flipping a cap. So doing a really good job in spotting, torping. Seems a very Big G seemed very well off at playing torpedo destroyers here from what we've seen so far. A little bit of luck perhaps mixed in there, but what they say in World Warships, you make your own luck. So again, I really like how he arches the torpedoes pretty tight-knit there as a whole. That's really good. He's also aware with his RPF that there's a destroyer somewhere to the south. He's pinged it. That's excellent, letting his team know the general direction of where the nearest destroyer is. And it's actually been the enemy Jäger who's been causing some devastation on against Big G's team here. So he's going to use his guns here. So he's a torpedo destroyer, but not afraid to use his guns, which is honestly really great to see here. As it looks like that Jäger is not too interested in using his guns, which is a bit of a mistake because that enemy Jäger started off with a better health pool advantage. So probably going to have to assume here that the enemy Jäger is launching torpedoes. And it looks like Big G's aware of this as he gets to high caliber. He's playing with his speed. Now the question is he going to turn in? Is he going to turn out? Because we still should be expecting some possible enemy torpedoes from the Jäger unless he fired them and they're on reload. So yeah, he's really playing, trying to keep all 3 guns with his main battery angles, and he's going back to that nose since it sticks out of the water that a bit better than the mid and rear section of the ship. It looks like he's about to get the kill here. And picking up a Kraken Unleashed. There's the torpedoes. So that's really good of him. So he just really played with his speed, took his time, but the fact that the enemy Jäger never opened up with his guns was a huge mistake. and ultimately costing him his life. So it looks like he's going to hang on to Iraq, perhaps. I didn't actually pay attention post-battle, or the other battleship that was killed to see what it was. Let's see. If he zooms back in, I'll pause it and see if we can figure out what the ship is. Although, if he gets the kill on it here, we'll know what it was. He's a scroller. He's a scroller, guys. He's a scroller. Set the bear with him. Yeah, it looks like maybe like a lower tier German battleship. I'm just going by pure looks. Like maybe a Scharnhorst, I don't know. Maybe not. It just looks German. So seeing some secondary guns there along the side. So he's not firing his guns now, so he's elected to go dark. So that's good in this situation, especially with the fact that now Big G has no heals, so he's burned through all of his repair parties, and he's on his last engine boost here as well. But he's got the resets there as well, or one reset, and he's got a fire ticking, so that's also good to see. But ended up about to reach 1,000 points, but still a bit close to just 3-1. Yeah, I think that's the Scharnhorst. That's what it looks like. We'll find out here when we look at post-battle results, as he's about to tip over 1,000 points. So we're really close to getting 6 kills here. So he's just not risking opening up. He's just deciding to stay dark. But now that the game has ensured victory, he does go ahead and open up and get some more defend ribbons. So does a little bit better there at the end and boosting up his base XP. So let's see, 2 dev strikes. That was hysterical to watch. Kraken Unleashed, First Blood, and High Caliber. And when DRAM sent me this, I really hope I'm also pronouncing your name correct again. I think I am. When I saw this screen, and I'm just really interested in Jäger because I don't own it, so it was really fun to watch you, Big G, here and playing the Jäger, getting 160,000 damage, 28 torpedo hits. So you almost had more torpedo hits than you did have gun hits. Oh, that's hysterical. And some defended. Okay, so what was it? It was a Scharnhorst. Okay, it looked like a Scharnhorst, but I wasn't entirely sure. So he's going to top the team with 2,668 base XP. So good stuff happening there. Detailed reports. Fires. So there was some fruit from actually utilizing his guns when he had the opportunity to do so. Because, you know, I gave him additional over 8,000 damage, almost 8,500 damage. Torpedoes launched 132. That's actually pretty funny to see, especially that 12 torpedoes every 65 seconds or less. Like that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so 19,000 with the main battery, and then torpedoes did that 132,483. So that's interesting correlation there with the 500,000 potential damage being a torpedo destroyer. So not bad. Utilized his guns when he needed to and stayed dark when he needed to. So all really good things there. But annihilating those enemy destroyers. So FYI, if you didn't know, Jäger is a destroyer hunter killer. Oh, that's great. That's really great. And he got the partial sky cancer, which I approve of. So very good stuff. And with premium account, actually we had 2.1 million without 1.3. So that was tier 9 is pretty profitable, so even not having premium, he still did really well in terms of his credit earnings. So thanks to DRAM and as well as Big G in sending this replay in, as it was a pleasure to watch, a pleasure to feature here on the channel after overcoming my replay fails and pulling a flimsy. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And we will catch you here next time. Take care.